talk or anything like that. So I said, I have to write a song, but what will I say? My band of that period had been in Vietnam. And they came over to me and says, why don't you write a song for us? And I said, well, what can you say when you win the battle and you lose everything? And he said, just listen to me. And he told me a story. And it was this one. And I think of it all the time. And it's sad. Please excuse me, I get sad. I was just a high school dropout. It wasn't just a cop-out. I thought I'd travel for a while, go back home to Mom, but my travels were suspended. They were drafted and abandoned. I joined the mighty army in the fields of Vietnam. There were tens of thousands fighting in the muddy fields of Nam. We did our best without complaint or fuss. We thought we would be heroes, but we ended up as zeros. There were no yellow ribbons for us. There were no yellow ribbons for us. It's funny, it drives me off the point every time I sing it. And even though I wrote it, I never remember what I wanted to say that time. My dad was one of millions in an army of civilians. Volunteered for service back in World War II. And the way he tells the story wasn't games or glory, but the country stood behind him. That's the one sure thing he knew. And the letters he received told him folks were mighty proud. The town turned out when he got off the bus. We thought that we'd be heroes, but we ended up as zeros. There were no yellow ribbons for us. There were no yellow ribbons for us. I remember one gray morning when the captain yelled a warning, but I guess I should forget it, 'cause it wasn't very much. Just some shooting and some shelling and some shouting and some yelling. We had to drop our rifles 'cause it got too hot to touch. And our clothing was soaking wet from all the mud and blood and sweat. Our mouths were so damn dry we couldn't spit or even cuss. Look, I'm sorry that I started, but I get so damn downhearted. There were no yellow ribbons for us. Sometime I hear the crying of the wounded and the dying. I know I'll go down to my grave before the memory fades. That's all past, but for the present, I didn't find it pleasant to see 100 athletes getting ticker tape parades. Sure, I cheered them like the others, weren't they? All of them my brothers, like the kids we left behind us, 57,000 plus. Now the memory is disappearing, but remember while you're cheering, there were no yellow ribbons for us. There were no yellow ribbons for us.